Hola clase, ¿qué tal? Espero que estén bien. Hoy vamos a hablar de la estructura 1 del capítulo 10. Comencemos. Okay. The picture on the left shows various activities done by Carlos y Victoria en su luna de miel, on their honeymoon. And here Carlos and Victoria are talking to each other. Carlos dice, he buceado y he corrido las olas. Victoria dice, tú y yo hemos jugado al voleibol. He esquiado en el agua, pero no he corrido las olas. So here they've talked about what they've done in their honeymoon. What you just witnessed is the present perfect tense in usage. We use the present perfect indicative to describe what has and has not happened. The emphasis is placed on the fact that the action took place and not when it took place. And this is how the present perfect and the preterite are different. In the preterite, the focus is on when it took place in the past. In the present tense, just worries about the actual action that happened. Like this example, yo he comido. I have eaten. In the preterite, yo comí. ¿Y cuándo? A las 7. I ate at 7. So the preterite is used to make time-specific reference to either the beginning or end of an action in the past, versus the present tense just establishes that something happened, an action took place sometime in the past. ¿Cómo? How do you create the present perfect? Bueno, first we conjugate the verb haber in its present tense forms, as you can see in the chart here. And we with the past participle of a verb. So here you have the conjugations in the present form and some participles. Well, how do you create participles? Let me just say that we have regular and irregular participles. Let's start with the regular. So regular past participles. To form the participio, we add the following to the stem. So in verbs that end in ar, we knock down the AR, we add ado, and voila, we have created the participio for hablar. Yo he hablado. And now for verbs that end in or ir, we replace it with ido. Oh, I forgot I put that little woman speaking there. Knock down the ER, replace it with ido, and now you have the participio of comer, comido. Y what about vivir? What would that be? That's right, vivido. Now, what about participios con acentos? Participios with accents. So some ER and IR, and ir verbs, have accent marks on the I of their past participles when the ending is preceded by A, E, or O. So what does that mean? Let's say leer, right? When you knock down the ER, you have LE, right? And so the ending is preceded by an E. And the same with traer. You knock down the stem, and then you have an A, right? So that is preceded by an A, E, or O. So these two have an E. Well, leer has E and traer has A. So what would they be? Leído, traído. So in these cases, we have the accent mark. Some examples. ¿Qué me has traído? Te he traído un regalo. All right. So now the irregular past participles. So here we have some infinitives. So abrir, you're like, oh wow, that's an ir verb. So it would be abrido, huh? Wrong. That's the thing about irregular verb participios. You're just gonna have to remember them. There is no rule to them, and so here's just the past participles of these irregular verbs. Abrir would be abierto, decir, dicho, escribir, escrito, hacer, hecho, muerto, puesto, visto, vuelto. All these irregular participles are you're just going to have to memorize. An example, ¿qué han hecho ustedes hoy? Hemos visto una película. He escrito un poema hermoso. Okay, if you like to take 5 here, next we're going to talk about past participles used as adjectives. All right. Hope you had a good break. Now let's go on to participio como adjetivo. So some past participles can be used as an adjective to modify a noun. And if that's the case, then you have to remember that when we use adjectives, they must agree in number and in gender with the noun that it modifies. And I hope you remember that from 101, I believe. So here's some examples, right? Compré una hamaca hecha en Nicaragua. Compré un juguete. Juguete is masculine, right? Hecho en Mexico. So as you can see, hecho and hecha, they agree with the noun. Compré unas tortillas. Here tortillas is feminine plural. Hechas en Honduras. So just remember that when you're using the participle as an adjective, it has to agree with the noun. Now, estar versus ser. Oftentimes, the past participle is used with the verbs estar and ser. When it's used with estar, the emphasis is placed on the result of an action. And when it's used with ser, emphasis is placed on the action. Ejemplo, la puerta está cerrada versus la puerta fue cerrada. And oftentimes, when we use it with ser, the preposition por is used to indicate who caused the action. La puerta fue cerrada por el dueño. So estar and ser. Estar, the emphasis is on the result of an action. Ser, the emphasis is placed on the action. Okay, a practicar. Vamos a traducir. You can pause here and take a few minutes to translate these phrases into Spanish. And in the meantime, un grupo de amigos fue a las islas de la bahía para celebrar su graduación. Una persona escribió este correo electrónico sobre las actividades que han hecho. All right, so you have a group of friends here that went to an island and to celebrate a graduation. And a person wrote an email to describe what they have done. Okay, so we have the model here, modelo. Yo he hecho mucho ejercicio aquí. So you see the model here. Now see if you can do this by yourself. Again, take a few minutes, pause this, and then we'll go over the answers. Okay, so let's see if you got it right. Yo, uno, is nadar, right? So how do you find the present perfect for this? So, yo he nadado. Muy bien. Yo he nadado en la piscina del hotel y he jugado al tenis con Francisco. Él ha montado en bicicleta 2 veces esta semana. Now let's see. Let's see your translations. I have arrived. He llegado. We haven't studied. No hemos estudiado. Have you worked today? ¿Has trabajado hoy? They have brought the food. Han traído la comida. Ok. Eso es todo para la estructura 1. Nos vemos para el siguiente. Adiós.